Hello and welcome. It's so good to have you with us today. I want you to imagine something for a moment. You're in your kitchen reaching for a familiar box in the pantry. It's simple, it's inexpensive, and it's been a part of households for generations. But what if I told you that inside that humble box of baking soda lies a potential key to unlocking relief from one of the most persistent and debilitating issues faced by so many of us over 65? I'm talking about that deep, nagging, and often crippling joint pain. Let me tell you about a gentleman I know. We'll call him Arthur. Arthur was a proud man, a retired postal worker who loved his daily walks around the neighborhood. But over the years, a familiar story began to unfold. The joints in his knees and hands started to ache, then to burn, and soon that simple walk to the mailbox became a monumental effort. He felt his world shrinking, his independence slipping away with every painful step. He'd tried everything his doctor recommended, of course, but the pain, that constant, grinding pain, was a thief. It was stealing his joy, his mobility, and his sense of self. Arthur felt a quiet desperation that many of you watching right now might know all too well. It's the fear of becoming a burden, the dread of losing the freedom to simply move through your own life without a constant reminder of pain. What Arthur didn't realize, and what so many people don't know, is that the answer to turning down the volume on that pain might not be in a prescription bottle, but in understanding how to use something as simple as baking soda in a very specific, targeted way. Now, this isn't about miracle cures or abandoning your doctor's advice. This is about empowerment through knowledge. It's about understanding the science behind why our bodies react the way they do, and learning about safe, accessible ways to support our health. As we get into this today, if you find this kind of practical, in-depth health information valuable, please take a moment to give this video a like and click that subscribe button. It's a small action that helps us continue to bring these important conversations to our community. Today, we are going to explore in detail how to use baking soda to help soothe that crippling joint pain. We'll look at what the science says, the right ways to do it, and just as importantly, the critical mistakes you must avoid. This is a journey back to comfort, a step toward reclaiming your mobility and your life. So please, stay with me. The information we're about to cover could be a turning point for you, just as it was for Arthur. First, let's understand the enemy we're fighting, inflammation. For many of us suffering from joint pain, whether it's from osteoarthritis or rheumatoid arthritis, the root cause is inflammation. Think of it as a fire inside your joints. When this fire rages, it causes swelling, stiffness, and that relentless pain. Our modern diet, often high in processed foods and meats, can create an acidic environment in the body, which some studies suggest may worsen this inflammation. This is where the simple chemistry of baking soda, or sodium bicarbonate, comes into play. Baking soda is an alkaline substance. When introduced into our system correctly, it can help gently nudge our body's pH balance, potentially creating a less acidic and therefore less inflammatory environment. Some fascinating research has begun to shed light on this. A study published in the Journal of Immunology in 2018 gave us one of the first pieces of evidence. When healthy people consumed a solution of baking soda and water, scientists observed a remarkable shift in their immune cells. Specifically, they saw that a type of immune cell called a macrophage, which normally promotes inflammation, actually changed its behavior and started reducing inflammation instead. It's as if the baking soda sent a signal to the body's immune system telling it to calm down and turn off the attack. This anti-inflammatory response is the foundation of how baking soda may offer relief. Now, with this crucial background, let's explore the first and most well-known method for using it. The first method is the one you've likely heard about, the baking soda and water drink. But doing this correctly is absolutely critical, because doing it wrong can be not just ineffective, but dangerous. The goal here is to introduce a small, controlled amount of sodium bicarbonate to help influence that internal, anti-inflammatory response we just discussed. Let's talk about Arthur again. When he first heard about this, he was skeptical but desperate. He'd been told to just mix a spoonful in water and drink it. But he wasn't told how much a spoonful was, when to drink it, or what to watch out for. This is where so many people make a mistake. A teaspoon of baking soda contains a massive amount of sodium, almost 1,300 milligrams, which is a huge portion of the recommended daily limit, especially for seniors who may be watching their blood pressure. So the key is precision and starting small. The generally suggested starting dose is very modest, just 1/8 to 1/4 of a teaspoon, fully dissolved in a full 8-ounce glass of water. It's best to drink this on an empty stomach, either first thing in the morning or at least an hour before a meal. This is because taking it with a full stomach can neutralize the very stomach acid you need to digest your food properly, leading to bloating and gas. Think of this as a gentle nudge, not a sledgehammer. The science suggests this simple drink can communicate with the spleen, which is a critical part of our immune system. The spleen stores immune cells, and the baking soda seems to trigger a signal via the vagus nerve, encouraging the spleen to produce more of those calming, anti-inflammatory cells. It's a complex and beautiful biological conversation happening inside your body, all sparked by this simple solution. However, the cautionary side of this is paramount. For anyone over 60, it is recommended not to exceed 3 doses of half a teaspoon in a single day. More importantly, this is intended for short-term use. Long-term, daily consumption without a doctor's guidance can disrupt your body's natural electrolyte balance and put a strain on your kidneys and heart due to the high sodium load. This is especially true for anyone with pre-existing high blood pressure, heart disease, or kidney issues. Before you even consider trying this, a conversation with your doctor is not just recommended, it is essential. They know your health history, your medications, and can help you determine if this is a safe option for you. Baking soda can interact with a surprising number of common medications, from certain antibiotics to heart medications, by affecting how they are absorbed in your stomach. Ignoring this step is a risk you should not take. For Arthur, starting with just 1/8 of a teaspoon in the morning and being patient was key. He didn't feel a change overnight, but over the course of a few weeks, he noticed the morning stiffness wasn't quite as severe. It was the first glimmer of hope he'd had in a long time, and it was achieved safely and cautiously. Now, what if the idea of drinking baking soda just doesn't sit right with you, or your doctor has advised against it due to the sodium intake? There is another, incredibly effective and often overlooked method that provides targeted relief directly to the source of the pain. This brings us to our second method, the therapeutic baking soda soak. This method is all about external application, drawing on the same alkaline principles, but focusing the benefits directly on those aching joints. It's perfect for hands, feet, elbows, or knees, the very areas that so often cry out for relief. I remember a patient of mine, let's call her Martha. Martha was a passionate knitter, but the arthritis in her fingers had become so severe that holding her needles was excruciating. The thought of giving up the craft that brought her so much joy was heartbreaking. She was wary of ingesting more sodium due to her borderline high blood pressure, so we discussed a different approach. The baking soda soak is wonderfully simple. For targeted relief, you can use a basin or bowl. You simply dissolve about 2 to 3 tablespoons of baking soda into a basin of warm, not hot water, and soak the affected joints, like your hands or feet, for 15 to 20 minutes. For more widespread pain, like in the back or hips, a full bath is a fantastic option. In this case, you would add 1 to 2 cups of baking soda to a tub of warm water and soak your entire body. Take a moment to close your eyes and visualize this. Imagine sinking your swollen, aching hands into a basin of warm, silky water. The warmth begins to relax the tight muscles, and then something else starts to happen. The alkaline nature of the baking soda helps to soothe the irritated skin and, more importantly, is believed to help neutralize some of the acidity in the tissues surrounding the joint, which can contribute to pain and inflammation. While there's less direct scientific proof that toxins are literally pulled out through the skin, many people report a significant feeling of relief and reduced swelling after a soak. It's about creating a soothing, anti-inflammatory environment directly where it's needed most. For Martha, this became a nightly ritual. Before bed, she would prepare a warm basin for her hands. She told me the immediate feeling was one of profound relief and relaxation, but the real magic happened over time. After about a week of consistent soaks, She noticed she could knit for 20 minutes before the pain started, then 30. This small, simple act was giving her back her passion, stitch by stitch. It helped her manage the pain without adding any sodium to her diet, making it a much safer choice for her situation. You can even enhance this experience. A popular and effective addition is Epsom salt. Adding a cup of Epsom salt along with the baking soda to your bath brings the added benefit of magnesium, which is renowned for its ability to relax muscles and further reduce inflammation. This combination creates a powerful 1-2 punch against joint pain and muscle tension. This approach is not just about pain relief, it's a form of self-care. It's a quiet moment at the end of the day to tend to your body, to soothe the areas that hurt, and to foster a sense of hope and control over your condition. This method is a testament to the fact that sometimes the most powerful solutions are also the most gentle. We've covered some important ground already, and there's more helpful information to come. If you're finding value in understanding how these small changes can impact your health, and you haven't yet, clicking subscribe ensures you won't miss future discussions like this one. We truly appreciate you being part of our community. Now let's move on to a method that combines the topical approach with direct massage for even more focused relief. Our third method is creating a topical baking soda paste. This is for those moments when you have a specific joint, a knuckle, a knee, an elbow, that is particularly inflamed and screaming for attention. It allows you to apply the soothing properties of baking soda in a more concentrated form directly onto the skin over the painful area. This method is about direct action. I think of another person I advised, a man named Mark who had been a carpenter his whole life. His right elbow was a constant source of trouble, a classic case of overuse leading to persistent osteoarthritis. Some days, the pain was a dull ache. On others, it was a sharp, stabbing sensation that made it difficult to even lift a coffee cup. He needed something he could apply directly to the hot spot. The baking soda paste was the perfect tool for the job. Creating the paste is incredibly simple. You mix about 3 parts baking soda with 1 part water until you have a thick, spreadable consistency, almost like toothpaste. You then gently massage this paste onto the affected joint. Let it sit on the skin for about 15 to 20 minutes before rinsing it off with warm water. The mild abrasiveness of the undissolved crystals can provide a gentle massage, while the alkalinity of the paste works to soothe the underlying irritation. Some people report a noticeable reduction in both pain and redness after using this method. Think of it like applying a cool, soothing poultice. The paste creates a direct interface between the alkaline properties of the baking soda and the acidic, inflamed tissues. For a condition like gout, which is caused by the buildup of uric acid crystals in a joint, this topical approach is particularly interesting. While drinking baking soda to change blood pH for gout has limited scientific backing, some researchers have explored whether a topical application could help dissolve those pH-sensitive uric acid crystals locally, providing pain relief without the systemic risks of ingestion. A pilot study on a transdermal sodium bicarbonate lotion for acute gout attacks found that it resulted in a highly significant reduction in pain. For Mark, the elbow paste became part of his pain management toolkit. On days when his elbow flared up, he would apply the paste, cover it with a warm, damp cloth, and rest for 20 minutes. He described the feeling as a calming down of the joint. It didn't make the arthritis disappear, of course, but it gave him a measure of control. It was an active step he could take to fight back against a flare-up, reducing its intensity and duration. This empowered him, reminding him that he wasn't helpless in the face of his chronic pain. Again, a word of caution is essential. Baking soda can be drying to the skin. It's important to always rinse it off thoroughly and apply a good moisturizer afterward, and you should never apply it to broken or irritated skin. As with any new topical treatment, it's wise to test it on a small patch of skin first to ensure you don't have a negative reaction. This method isn't about a miracle cure, it's about a practical, targeted strategy to manage moments of acute pain, giving you another way to maintain your mobility and continue doing the things you love. We've talked about internal use, soaking, and direct application, but there is a fourth, often overlooked way that using baking soda can contribute to soothing joint pain, and it has to do with what you eat. This method is about using baking soda not as a direct treatment, but as a clever tool in the kitchen to make your diet more joint-friendly. This final method involves using baking soda to neutralize acids in certain foods that can be triggers for inflammation. This is a subtle but powerful strategy because it helps you address the problem at its source. Many people with arthritis find that acidic foods, particularly nightshade vegetables like tomatoes, can exacerbate their symptoms. For many, giving up tomato sauce for pasta or a hearty stew feels like a huge sacrifice. This is where our friend Martha found another surprising benefit. She loved to cook, but her favorite tomato-based recipes often seemed to make her finger joints ache even more the next day. She felt trapped between eating the foods she loved and suffering the consequences. The solution was astonishingly simple. By adding just a tiny pinch, and I mean a tiny pinch, perhaps less than a quarter of a teaspoon of baking soda to her simmering pot of tomato sauce, she could neutralize some of the acidity without noticeably changing the flavor. The chemical reaction is the same one we've been discussing. The alkaline baking soda balances the acid in the tomatoes, making the final dish gentler on her system. This isn't just about tomatoes. This trick can be used in any acidic dish. This approach is a beautiful example of how we can work with our food rather than against it. It allows for more flexibility and enjoyment in your diet, which is crucial for long-term health and happiness. It's not about completely eliminating food groups. It's about finding smart, simple ways to make them more compatible with your body's needs. Take a moment to think about your own diet. Are there healthy foods that you avoid because you suspect they trigger your joint pain? Perhaps it's a citrus vinaigrette or a fruit-based marinade. A small amount of baking soda could potentially make those foods accessible again. This method is the ultimate form of proactive health management. You are anticipating a potential problem, food-triggered inflammation, and heading it off at the pass with a simple, inexpensive kitchen staple. By making your meals more alkaline and less inflammatory, you are building a foundation of health from the inside out. It's a small, consistent action that over time can lead to a significant reduction in the everyday burden of joint pain, allowing you to enjoy your meals and your life more fully. We have journeyed through 4 distinct, practical ways to use this humble pantry staple to find relief. We've discussed the importance of the cautious internal drink, the soothing power of a warm soak, the targeted relief of a topical paste, and the clever strategy of using it in your cooking. Each of these methods offers a different path toward the same goal, taking back control from crippling joint pain and reclaiming your freedom of movement. I think back to Arthur, who started this conversation with us, a man who felt his world shrinking. By carefully incorporating a small doctor-approved amount of baking soda water into his morning routine and enjoying regular foot soaks in the evening, he began to turn the tide. He started walking to the end of his block, then around the whole neighborhood again. He didn't become a marathon runner overnight, but he got his life back. He could play with his grandchildren without wincing and tend to his garden with joy instead of dread. And I think of Martha, her fingers dancing with her knitting needles once more, and Mark confidently lifting his tools. Their stories are not miracles. They are examples of what can happen when we combine wisdom with safe, practical action. This journey is about more than just baking soda. It's about a mindset. It's about believing that you are not defined by your diagnosis. It's about having the courage to seek out knowledge, to ask questions, and to find what works for your unique body. The power to feel better, to move with more ease, and to live with less pain is more within your reach than you might think. I sincerely hope this conversation has armed you with both hope and practical tools. Your health journey is your own, but you are not on it alone. Our community here is a place to share, to learn, and to support one another. Please take a moment to share your own experiences or questions in the comments below. What have you discovered that helps you manage joint pain? Your story could be the one that inspires someone else to take that next step. If you found this information helpful and believe it could benefit a friend or a loved one who is struggling, please share this video with them. And finally, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel and turning on the notification bell. Taking charge of our health is a daily practice, and staying informed is one of the most powerful things we can do. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Be well, stay hopeful, and know that every small step you take is a victory. Thumb up, thumb down, 64.0. Arrow upward, altero downward, altero downward.